if a product's only going to last 2 or 3 years without you disrupting yourself, which is a major thing we're teaching around, you need to look at your competitors, monitor your niche, and understand ahead of time and plan for it. How can someone disrupt me? Whether it's more variations, more styles, more colors, more bundles, more value, then you need to come in and do that to yourself. You need to say, I'm going to launch V2 of this product, V3 of this product. I'm going to add 2 variations. I'm going to add a bundle. I'm going to add a pack. That time that you would normally have to do that is being spent instead on just trying to stay above water.
Brandon, with everything going on, I want to just jump straight into the meat and potatoes of today's conversation. Amazon is never harder than it ever has been before right now, right? We've seen a lot of margin compression happening in 2024, and it just wasn't like the Amazon of 2015 and 2016 that you and I knew and launched into is not the Amazon world that we're living in today. So to our listeners that are 7-figure brand owners, like, what is your message to them today, Brandon? Like, is it still viable to grow on Amazon? And if so, what are the growth lever strategies that you're employing even into your own brand to thrive and survive over the next 5 to 10 years on Amazon?
Yeah, I think the first message is that it's okay that things are not as easy or not going as well as you had hoped, or, that things are down a little bit. I mean, a common story that I'm hearing from all the large sellers is that we are down year over year, or that, we kind of stayed flat and maybe margins are down. We saw the writing on the wall, and we made a massive investment into our own team to try to level them up. And one of the issues that we had when we were scaling is we hired a lot of juniors straight out of school for the purpose of trying to train them up. And what ended up happening is, and my wife, Jennifer, she runs the brand's business for the most part. But what ended up happening was we would have a really flat org chart. And so we have all of these juniors that can do the roles, but only to a certain extent. And then no one was really capable of stepping up into a senior leadership role or that we could elevate. And so when you end up with this really flat org chart, you end up in a position where you can't grow beyond, you hit a wall, right? You can't grow beyond a certain point. And so your org chart has to start adding layers at a certain point in order for you to be able to go from, let's say, 15 or 20 million to 50 million. And I think that the natural walls people hit at 3 million are because it's themselves. It's a key man issue. It's, maybe a VA or one assistant. And then to go to 10 million, you end up with, 3 or 4 people that can help you do certain tasks. Maybe you've outsourced a thing or two, PPC or whatever it is. If you're doing your own PPC, it depends how many SKUs you have. So maybe you have a few people doing that. And then to go to 20 million or 25 million, you've got 12, 15, maybe, try and get into 20 employees. And it starts to really get difficult to manage if everyone's reporting to you. You can only have so many direct reports. If all day you're sitting in meetings and people are telling you what they're doing, you're not able to work on the business and scale it, right? And so things start to, the magic that got you to 20 is not going to get you to 50 anymore. And so the levers that we started to pull were to figure out how to turn over the team and hire more seniors and start to build out the org down so that we could scale some of these processes. The additional things that we needed to do is to elevate the content. That, like you said, you could take anything in 2015 off of Alibaba, put it in a white box and sell it on Amazon, and it would sell. You could take a picture with your cell phone or with a random camera and put it online, and it would be enough. And now that's not the case anymore. You have to have the best content. You have to have custom designs. You have to understand how to bundle. You have to understand what the customer really wants from a features and component standpoint, from a design standpoint. And you have to deliver a really good product that can keep the review rating high. You have to have something that is going to get great reviews over time, because the amount of effort needed to develop and launch it is greater than it's ever been.
Yeah. I think it's requiring a more sophisticated kind of entrepreneur, one that's willing to create more systems and processes. And I think like the lazy approach to Amazon is has come and gone, right? The Me Too products, like that ship has sailed a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Well, you've known me for many years, and I've always told people this is not a passive income business. This is not a get rich quick on the do it on the side business. Now you can start it that way. We've had hundreds of people in the inner circle start from scratch or with one product or from, and build up a multi-million-dollar business and become millionaires. But they started while they were still working a full-time job, right? And you can start learning 10 hours at a time, 10 hours per week. If you can dedicate a few nights a week to learning content to launch that first product. But eventually you're going to need to step into this and run it because it becomes its own beast. And, we always tell people that the time to step away from your job is when it's costing you money to go to work, right? But that could be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. But you better give up Netflix. You better give up your nights and weekends, and you better be working full time in this Amazon business until that time comes. And a lot of people aren't willing to put in that work, man. Like it's not a passive, it's not a, side gig. It's not a side hustle. It is, you're building a real brand.
Brennan, as we wrap things up, I'd love to leave the audience with 3 actionable takeaways from every episode. Here are the 3 actionable takeaways that I noted. You let me know if I'm missing something. Number 1, as you as a brand owner, no matter what level of business you are at right now, your most important thing to do is to manage by leading indicators. And so what you need to focus on is what are the leading indicators that will lead to future profits and revenue in the business.
Let's rephrase that real quick, Josh, as leading actions.
Even better.
Yeah, because that way it's in the term that you're actually doing something that you need to be doing and measuring every single day that will result in that lagging metric.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Brandon, one of the things I have right in front of my desk every single day is what am I doing every day to touch my 3 biggest priorities in the business? What am I doing as leading actions? I love that. Leading actions that I know if I just keep doing this every single day, these will lead to positive profit or revenue in the future. So that's action item number 1. Action item number 2 is you've got to differentiate yourself in the market and your products. And Brandon gave us some great ideas, whether that be licensing, going to the licensing expo in Las Vegas and actually creating a licensing deal, right, for your products. Or is it creating IP, whether it be design patents or utility patents for your product that expand that moat around your products that allow you to have a longer kind of, growth cycle or product life cycle on Amazon to be able to hedge against yourself. So differentiation, and you talked about utilizing AI as well and being proactive there. I think that's been something that a lot of people have neglected up until now. And I think that's only going to become more important over the next 5 to 10 years. And I would also say that that is our biggest competitive advantage. Us as US based sellers, we have the best competitive advantage compared to our overseas competitors because we know what's trending in the market. We know what the end customer wants. We know how to speak to them. So can we out innovate the competition? That's how you win. My final action item is hiring really good talent. And as you mentioned, Brandon, in order to be able to scale, if you just hire $2, $3, $4 an hour VAs, because you're like, they're just super cheap, this is great. Guess what happens? You will eventually hit 5, 7 million, where that team, now some of those guys need to be able to level up into leadership roles, but they don't have the skill sets to be able to do so. And guess what you have to do? You basically have to pull it all back down to the studs and rebuild that house and that foundation all over again. And so one of my biggest hacks is like, if you focus and you're willing to invest in really good talent up front, so much so that you say, all right, yeah, I'm hiring you for this VA role, but I know you've got a lot more potential in you. Those are the type of candidates that you want to bring into your team. Brandon, anything you think I missed here?
No, man, I think that you're an expert at the hiring and training, and the advantage that you have with manufacturing in the US. I think that that's a huge thing for people to understand around how long is your capital tied up? How do you manage your supply chain? If you've got suppliers in the US, diversifying into the US when possible is good. Looking for products that are done here can be really good. Um, but hiring and training the right people and getting them leveled up is the biggest bottleneck that I see most large brands and even agencies run into. So even the agencies are great when it's employees 1 through 5. And when you're like one of the first brands into an agency, it's usually the head of the agency that's really good, the face of the agency. They deliver great work. They know what they're doing. But then it's like employee 15 and brand number 25 really struggle, right? Because they need the right processes and systems to teach them how to properly do that thing that they're doing. Yeah, I think that, the same reason that we hit walls at 5 million and at 20 million is the same reason that you hit walls with an agency as well. So it's people, it's talent, it's processes, it's training. And if you're not good at it yourself to begin with, even if you hate doing it, you're not going to be able to hire and train the right people to do it. So you've got to find the right experts and learn from them, and bring in the right coaches, and then that's the way that you're going to be able to grow this brand to the next level. So
Yeah. I mean, well said there. That's why I think as business owners, you need to make the conscious decision. And I hope that through this conversation, you've been able to see like what it takes in order to scale to that next level requires management. It requires operationalizing things and creating systems and processes in your business. If that's not you and you're like, I don't like that, I don't want to hire and manage staff, that's fine. But you've got to go find some avenues to where you can make as much money as you can with yourself, right? And know that and be happy with that constraint. But I think in these physical products brands, like name one 9-figure company that's done with one founder and a VA. Like I haven't heard of that yet. Maybe AI will change that in the coming 5 years. But
maybe AI will do it by itself.
Maybe AI has its own brand, right? So, Brandon, here are the 3 final questions I ask each guest. Number 1, right. What's been the most influential book that you've read and why?
Oh, man, I think it'd be a combination of all the different business management books that I've read. So whether it's four disciplines of execution, measure what matters, scaling up. Mm-hmm. I think that at the end of the day, and Traction's on that list as well, all of these systems call it something different, but it's all exactly what we were talking about today. And the combination of those things, which is you figure out what lever to pull, you set a goal, and then you work backwards from that goal. So it's learning how to work backwards into and boil down what your goal is, what are the drivers and causes to that for that goal, and then what are the leading activities required to move the needle towards achieving that goal. And so whether it's one of those systems that you follow, whether it's OKRs or EOS or whatever it is, you're going to have to learn how to run and operate your business using those same methodologies. And so I think it's the combination of all those. And it was interesting, by the second and third book, I'm like, oh, it's all the same shit. It's just telling it a different way. And it's just calling it something different. And all of them are trying to sell you a coaching program, I think. So at the end of the day, they just want to kind of make it their own so they can sell you their coaches. But, I was like, maybe they're onto something. If all of these giant companies have been formed and grown and scaled using these systems, there's something there. And it's been a big unlock for us to be able to run and operate the 3 businesses that we have and to scale them the way we have.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I think you said that perfectly well. There's lots of different books there, but it's all about creating that management, the operating system in the business. Brandon, question number 2, what's your favorite AI tool or ChatGPT prompt that you've been using?
I think that the ChatGPT prompt that is most underutilized is to tell it to go learn about a few things before you actually ask it for an answer.
Tell me
So
more.
it so whenever I want to learn something or want it to tell me about something or give me some advice on something, I ask it to go learn about it or several things first. And it goes and does research and gives me a report on that thing that it learned. And then it's better equipped to answer that question. So it's basically, training the model first before you really rely on the answer, because the answer is only going to be, you don't know what knowledge base it has, but you want it to actually have that answer before you, have that knowledge before it answers. Yeah, I think it's just more around a general idea of how to talk to it. And then I love Midjourney. I love designing with Midjourney. I love getting ideas from Midjourney around concepts and ideas and characters and toys and things that I want to do. So I love Midjourney.
Love it. And I love that you're telling it to go learn. It is as simple. It's like if you just treat it to garbage in, garbage out, that's all you're going to get. So do the extra step there with ChatGPT. All right, Brandon, final question. Who is somebody that you admire or respect the most in the e-commerce space that other people should be following, and why?
Oh, they should be following you, man. So I think that there are a few guys out there that really know their stuff. I mean, and it all depends on which expert level of expertise or what you want them to do. I love how Kevin King is always trying to find new things and avenues and things that he's doing. Um, Harmozy's great for just business management and practices and really just like a no bullshit way of telling you how to like focus on the things you need to focus on, but it's not necessarily e-commerce. Um, yeah, I mean, from an e-commerce perspective, guys that are out there putting out content, Ritu's got a great AI newsletter that's fantastic. If you're not in that one, Kevin King's newsletter is fantastic. Um, Follow also Destiny Wilshon from Better Media. Her posts on LinkedIn are fantastic. Yeah, so many great people in our space that really add value, that know what they're doing,
Yeah.
that we know and love and respect.
Echo all of those sentiments. And we've had Ritu, Kevin, and Destiny on the show. So go back and pull up those episodes because they definitely know what they're
Best of
talking
the
about.
best. Yeah, absolutely.
Brandon, this has been a lot of fun. If people want to learn more about you, they want to learn more about Data Dive, seller systems, how can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, Data Dive, you can get a free 15 days, I think, using it, and maybe even get a free coaching session. If you guys are already doing 6 or 7 figures, I'll give you a full month of it to bring over and to give it a try. I think our keyword tracker is the best in the market. I think by the time this episode airs, we will have search query performance data integrated at the keyword level in your keyword tracker, which no one else does. We're also the first to bring in impression share as well. So I think that, try Data Dive. It's, I always tell people it's the better, newer version of Helium 10. So if you're using Helium 10, you don't need to anymore. Come over to Data Dive. Also, if you want to learn about seller systems, like we have a new program starting where we're going to be training your ads person. So it's a PPC manager training for the first time, 12-week program, certificate program. Put your people into it. They will get, you as an employer will get a initial assessment, midterm progress reports, and a final exam. You will know all the strengths and weaknesses as we try to level up your PPC people. That starts in April. We have very limited seats there. And then we've got Camp Ecomm. Bring your team to Camp Ecomm. Learn from one of the 2 tracks. Hopefully Josh is speaking at it again. He's an alum of it. And, campecom.com. We will be at an all-inclusive resort in Cancun, where you have 2 tracks. You've got your pre-launch and post-launch, 2 full days of working in your business. So this isn't a typical workshop or a conference where people are just talking at you from stage. It is you actually working in your business while someone's teaching you from stage to fill out an SOP, go do something in your business, level up, bring your team to it, and level them up while you're at it. And then we have an executive day. So instead of doing 3 tracks, because the feedback we got from the executives is they wanted to do the tactical at the same time. So we actually have the first day as the executive day. You have to be doing at least 7 figures. And that's going to be the first day of learning how to hire, train, work backwards, scale your business, all the things we talked about today that Josh always talks about. Spend time around other amazing, successful entrepreneurs for a few days in paradise at Camp Ecomm.
Love it. Brandon, so much value shared today. Thanks so much for your time today.
Appreciate you, man. Looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you for listening. Visit ecommbreakthrough.com for more information. If you've enjoyed today's episode, the best way you can show your appreciation is by clicking the subscribe button and quickly leaving a review. See you again next time.